I am currently standing on top of the Emma Frost statue featured on the new Marvel Rivals map Krakoa. And it's as I'm standing here admiring the architecture that I found myself asking a specific question. What is a Krakoa? No, seriously, what is this place? Why are we fighting on an island abundant in pimple-covered trees? Where did it come from, and why is it so important now? That question led me to several others. Who is this woman on the Tokyo 2099 maps? Why is there an entire city of spider people in Tokyo? What is this giant eldritch being hanging out here for? And where the hell is the Clintar? I said Clintar, you all heard Clintar. There are a lot of stories built into the world of Marvel Rivals, and I realized that I don't actually know about any of them. I've played hundreds of hours of Rivals at this point, still mainly Rocket Raccoon, and can't even tell you the exact story of any map in the game. It was all this that made me realize there is too much lore in Marvel Rivals. That is an odd statement, but today I want to show you why by looking through the lore of Marvel Rivals, and why nobody seems to know about it. And we're gonna do this with the help of our sponsor, Marvel Rivals. They asked me if I wanted to make a video about their new season, and I, like the ravenous beast I am, happily accepted the chance to go on a hyperfixation rant for 20 minutes. Wait, can I put a bathroom edition on the contract? Marvel heroes are some of the most recognizable out there, and among the 38 playable heroes available in Marvel Rivals, you'll find a lot of recognizable names. Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Captain America, the Incredible Hulk, Jeff, the... Land Shark? Ah! Honestly, I'd die for this little guy. Some of the heroes you can find in the game, like Jeff, Squirrel Girl, Luna Snow, or Magic, may not be as well known to you as the Iron Mans or Black Widows. But even if you do recognize these heroes, they may not be who you'd expect. And the reason why centers around a sudden, multiversal event created a merge of several Marvel universes, interconnecting this new combined universe into what is called the time stream entanglement. And heroes from across the Marvel multiverse got pulled in. The chaos that this event created caught the attention of the daughter of Galactus, Galacta, who decided to oversee all the action. With her guiding from the cosmos, we step into the fold and take sides in the many battles ongoing across the multiverse. If you stop the video here, which you shouldn't, you'd really have enough to understand the game. It explains why multiples of the same heroes can appear and fight against each other, why they all have different features and traits from their other depictions, and why there is a teenage girl rating your performance throughout the match.
Better stop that vehicle!
But what that hasn't told you is really anything about the actual conflicts you're going to be fighting in. For example, let's go back to when I was on Krakoa and, oh yeah, that guy's just as confused. Krakoa is a brand new map addition to Marvel Rivals, included in the new Season 2 Hellfire Gala, a domination map with a gorgeous party atmosphere spread across the living island of its namesake. It's got a ton of fun details included, like the mutant statues on Grove, which of course includes the hero Emma Frost, the newest hero available in the game, who can chokeslam me any day she wants. It also has a frickin' dragon on a wooden perch. Oh my god, I love him so much. But while all of these details are really cool to find, it doesn't actually show you what you're fighting for. It doesn't really explain what Krakoa really is, why all the mutants are here, what the Hellfire Gala is, or why Ultron has shown up. This is something that happens on every single map in Marvel Rivals, and to really understand these stories, we're gonna have to dive a little deeper. So to learn about the worlds inside the entanglement, we're first going to learn about the most explored world in Marvel Rivals so far, Tokyo 2099. Two maps feature in Tokyo 2099, Shin Shibuya and the Spider Islands. These are the two maps that we probably have the most to work off of. The story of Tokyo 2099 is so far the only story to have a definitive conclusion in the Marvel Rivals comic series. Tokyo 2099's story surrounds two figures, the Master Weaver and his disciple Spider-Zero, both of whom are facing a crisis caused by the time stream entanglement. The Web of Life and Destiny, a model of the multiverse protected by the Master Weaver, has become significantly damaged after the entanglement caused a time rift to appear above the city. The two Spider-Folk are in a battle to decide how they should go about repairing it. The Master Weaver seeks to strengthen the web with the power of the energy leaking out from the entanglement, whereas Spider-Zero fears that waiting any longer would result in the Web of Life and Destiny being unraveled. The Master Weaver rejects his disciple's idea of haste and banishes her from their home on the Spider Islands. But as neither plan to back down from their goal, they recruit heroes to join them in their fight to save the Web of Life and Destiny. So in-game, if you're attacking, you are trying to help Spider-Zero get onto the islands and save the web. If you're defending, you are helping the Master Weaver stop Spider-Zero and save the web. The comic's conclusion to Tokyo 2099 is combining both Spider-Zero and the Master Weaver's methods together. That worked out pretty nicely. It's almost like you should find compromises before getting superheroes involved. I should note there is another map in the Tokyo 2099 world known as Ninomaru, which is a branch off of the Spider Islands. It doesn't have a connection to the story we have been talking about, but I did find these big-headed fellows wandering around the place. Which, by the way, come from the new limited time mode Giant Size Brain Blast. Yeah, it's just as goofy as it looks. The real thing about the Tokyo 2099 story is that it actually comes from different comic series. The 2099 universe has had several runs throughout the past 30 years, starting in the early 1990s. In the Web of Life and Destiny, you can dig back to 2010. Wait, that isn't that long ago. Oh, Jesus Christ. But 2099 also has significance because a good portion of the current cast in Marvel Rivals comes from 2099. The Punisher shows up all over the Tokyo 2099 maps, but also Black Widow, Penny Parker, and even Captain America come from this universe, as well as Black Panther and the entirety of the Wakandan Empire maps. There's a specific excerpt in the lore for Captain America that shows us a Wakanda that abandoned Earth for the stars, creating the intergalactic empire of Wakanda. Oh, by the way, Captain America was held in an Alchemax facility in this universe that Black Widow and Wolverine busted him out of. They then sent him via portal to Wakanda, where the Black Panther is currently dealing with a crisis from his patron god Bast about a darkness dwelling within his empire. One that he seeks to root out while his sister Shuri researches ways to fix the time stream with Doctor Strange and Reed Richards, eventually leading T'Challa and Shuri to fight over the control of the vibranium-infused chronovium that was created thanks to... Hey, come on, pay attention, focus up. Really, all I'm trying to say is that 2099 is really important in the universe of Marvel Rivals. It is one of two universes in the entanglement that plays a major pivotal role in the overarching story, the other one being the modern-day timeline. Why? Well, because both timelines are home to the two Doctor Dooms that caused the entanglement in the first place. Two Dooms? What, was one not enough? That was my impression of a Drew Gooden bit, but without any of the charm or the wit. Same amount of scoliosis. Now, the main map we see featuring the modern-day timeline is the New York series of maps, an iconic location in Marvel. Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, and Doctor Strange all have roots here. We get to explore a lot of iconic locations from Marvel in New York, like the Baxter Building and Avengers Tower. There's even the Sanctum Sanctorum available to explore in the Doom match. You can find things like a cute doggy, portals to other dimensions, and a broken bathroom. Good thing no one ever tries to find bathrooms in these games. The New York map series focuses around the Fantastic Four and their fight to defeat the newest enemy threatening New York, Dracula, as he uses a power given to him by Doom to create the Empire of Eternal Night. The Fantastic Four really don't need an introduction, but it's important to point out that their stories and the characters appearing throughout them go back as far as 1961. That's 60 years of history, 40 years of history, and nearly 20 years. There's a lot of places and things brought up all throughout Marvel Rivals that have a huge history in Marvel, but I am realizing that much of that history isn't known by a regular player. Use the Montesi formula to defeat Dracula. What the hell is a Dracula? It's easy to throw out lines like the Web of Life and Destiny, the Montesi formula, or Ratatoskr, the Squirrel Goddess. Yes, that's a thing. But it's a lot harder to get someone who doesn't have that knowledge to understand them. But wait, I hear you say, there is a place to learn this stuff, and you are correct. Every quick play match starts with small animated scenes in the loading screen, with text at the bottom telling you what the map's conflict is about. Oh, it's gone. It's a bit comical, but I actually have to complain about Marvel Rivals' loading screens being too fast. You barely have enough time to register what the story is about before you're in the match. And that's a compliment, I swear. These blurbs you find don't even have the entire story either. If you want to really understand why Dracula is in New York, why Doom is involved, or Shuri's involvement, you have to dig deeper. So where do you actually go to find this out? Well, buddy, best get to reading. There are pages upon pages of lore found inside the game. Full short stories on every character and every location. I only learned about things like Captain America's story or Shuri in these lore writings. But for the average Marvel player who's been playing the game for hours on end, have you actually read these? Like really, have you read them? Like have you? To find the answer to that, I decided to do an informal, very poorly managed survey of Marvel Rivals streamers to find out how many of them knew about the stories of the maps they're playing on. Because we all know, streamers are the best source of reliable information. I may not have known the map stories before making this video, but maybe they do.
So a quick question, do you know anything about the story of the map you're playing on right now? I do believe Loki is trying to like blow something up, or rather yoink stuff from maybe that tree. That's all I remember. Something about the tree. I think Loki's trying to yoink. Or maybe I have it backwards. How far off am I?
Okay, not bad. Not quite correct, but he has the heart. Or he remembers watching my other video, either or.
Do you know about anything about the story of the map you're playing on? Hell's Heaven?
You know what? Yeah, that is the map name. Great job. Most people don't even know that. And those 2 clips you just saw were the best 2 clips I could get.
Anything about the story of the map? No, I actually don't know much about the story of that map.
Do you know any of the stories on the maps on Marvel Rivals? I do not.
Nearly every streamer I asked admitted that they didn't know what any of the map stories were.
To be honest, I'm really bad at knowing a lot of the stories about each map. But maybe there's somebody in the chat that can help you out there.
Do you know any of the stories of the maps in Marvel Rivals? Nope. I do not.
Do you know anything about the story of the map you just played on? Nah, I don't really know anything about Marvel lore, I guess.
And the streamers weren't alone in this either. I did a poll on YouTube asking people about how many stories they knew on the maps, and nearly 70% of all answers were none. And that's disappointing. I haven't even covered Ixgard, Hell's Heaven, or Clintar in this video. There's so much story involved in this universe that it feels like a waste for nobody to know about them. But what I also found was that among all the people who didn't know any stories about the game they were playing, there were just as many interested in finding it.
Yeah, I actually wish I did. I don't know much of the overarching story of like the maps and such.
So, is there a way for me to like look it up? No. There's no like map info here.
People do want to know more. They just don't know how. Marvel Rivals is a game packed to the brim with lore, but nobody knows how to find it. So, here's how you find it. Every character in Marvel Rivals has a lore tab in their hero page, with short stories available to read as soon as they become available, with more short stories to read in the future. All heroes are free too, so everyone is free to play and read about whenever you want. Every season and event also comes with comic pages in their rewards, with stories available when you interact with them. And if you find yourselves interested in the lore and characters introduced to you in Marvel Rivals, you can always explore the comics they're based on. Whether it's the Wakandan Empire, the Spider-Verse, or 2099, there's a comic series tied to everything you can find in Rivals. I even got a few of my own for the characters and settings I wanted to learn more about. This one's my favorite. And it was through this process that I could find the answer to the first map we discussed in this video, Krakoa. I didn't know anything about the story of this map before, but after taking the time to learn it, it may just be the most interesting of them all. What is a Krakoa? Well, it's a person, or rather a being, an island, a living, mutant island that first appeared as an antagonistic force in Marvel Comics back in the 70s, but reappeared in the popular House of X and Powers of X comic series in 2019. For more casual enjoyers of the Marvel Universe like me, you may not know this, but the X-Men series that had been around for decades now had a new rendition of its characters and stories from that 2019 series. In it, Krakoa and the mutants of the Marvel Universe came to a symbiotic relationship, forming a brand new sovereign nation atop the island's soil. This new foundation created a brand new basis for X-Men and mutant comics moving forward, with stories less focused on being superheroes and more so on building a nation. This shift created a brand new basis for all sorts of Marvel comics, building a branch known today as the Krakoan Age, a beloved and popular era of X-Men from 2019 to 2024. And Marvel Rivals features the first rendition of Krakoa off of the comic pages, introducing a brand new audience like you and me into its world. And it even has its own spin on it too. This Krakoa was sent through the time stream entanglement and dropped into the 2099 universe. Now residing in their new home, the mutants of Krakoa work to help their fellow mutants and secure their place among unfamiliar neighbors, hosting the illustrious Hellfire Gala to raise allies in their new home, even as threats such as Ultron seek to use the powers they hold within to destroy them. Who, by the way, is the new hero coming in Season 2.5. There are tons of comics now from the Krakoan Age, but you can start with these two if you really want to dive into this part of the universe. There's a lot more features here than just Krakoa, and if anything I have discussed in this video interests you, I encourage you to explore what the game has to offer yourself. Every map, every character, and every moment has a story to discover. And with almost 90 years of Marvel Comics under their belt, there is a limitless amount of opportunity for new stories to develop. Thank you again to Marvel Rivals for sponsoring this glorified Yap session. You can check out Marvel Rivals and join in on the exciting, constantly evolving action today for free on all platforms. Cross-platform too. Benetti's, please, can we get one bathroom on a Rivals map? I know you watch my videos. Please, I need to know where the whole piece.
Okay, I got my clip. Thank you. What the?